This is from Biafra's Got Talent. We are letting Biafrans know the reason why we should remember those who gave their lives for us, those who died, that we may live.
You died to end my suffering. You died fighting for my freedom. Your blood is the seed of redemption. You are my inspiration.
The deed no wrong with them, military shots at them. 67 to 70, we remember them. 2016, 38 May, memory still lives in our mind till today. Wonder why they refuse to publicize the genocide. The world media turn blind eyes to our plight. It's time to arise, land of the rising sun. Let's rise one more time, let's rise.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes. Those who gave their life for us. Onitsha massacre, Ifocha massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Tell them I touched me, oh. Remember when me tell you say I touched me, oh. Yeah, I remember that one that called us a Bruce Mero. But the way you go like a papa nuku. Oh, them the way boniro. Me tell you what I look pandi, what pandi samiro. Me tell you what I day. For we just fall under a storm and I tell you what I do. Me never give up. Me tell them
heroes, I want to promise you something today. We must fight together, no retreat and no surrender. We must hold them down till the end of time. The most important thing is that we will restore Biafra. May your soul rest in peace.
I look up to the sky with tears in my eye. For other Biafrans and for freedom had to die. We will never forget you as the days go by. You are always in my heart, will never be apart.
They fought for our freedom, they died for our freedom. They fought the Nigerian soldiers in the war front, without food, without guns, for our freedom, for our life, for our own good, for our children. We love them, our heroes, we want them.
My heart bleeds when I saw them slain. Where will I be now, if not then? They will remain indelible in my heart, forever, 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 and ever, and ever, and ever.
We serve in your plantation, and the way you paid us back with your bloody starvation. We bled in our history, that the death of my people is a mystery. No going back to get to a victory. I had a voice now call for vengeance. I never get bummed, I'ma blow like a vengeance.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes. Those who gave their life for us. Onitsha massacre, Ifocha massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Where will I be now? If not you, you died at Mali.
They were starved to death because of our freedom, and they paid the debt for our freedom. Flag high for those that died in the genocide, fighting for you and I. There is pain in our heart, we bleeding inside, tears in the eyes, so I'm falling heroes.
This is for my fallen heroes. Give them motivation, people. It's like I'm looking at myself in the mirror. Cause to be a cast, I need to be a nurse. If we did not retire,
They paid the ultimate price. They died for me, for the freedom of my unborn child. We live for the legacy.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes.
free. March on, cause we are more than conquerors. Yeah, you know what it is. We must revenge, and we must stand to represent who we are.
Akara m ihe mbe na-eme mbe si ma achọrọ ofu ukwu ehi ma nke ọzọ mụ achọrọ ehi niile ma ụkwụ ya ma aka ya ma isi ya ma olu ya anyị ga-adọbiri wee pụọ na nke onwe anyị tigata azụ etu anyị nọ tupu ndị ọcha wee bịa ebe a nwa aha obodo ebe a nwe ndị mmadụ n'ime tupu nwa bekee si ebe o si hapụ obodo ya ọ bịa ebe a ọkpọrọ onye nke ọkpọrọ okeke ọkpọrọ okafọ dakata anyị isi ọ sị n'ụbọchị nke taa na anya aha anyị wusi Naijiria anyị na-aza aha na-enweghị omimi n'ime ya ihe ngwa gị gbasị biko kọwara m ihe Naijiria pụtara enwepụghị kọwara m ọmụa ga-aza aha osimiri ka osimiri ga-aza aha mụnwa n'ihi ihe anyị na-ekwuwu na ebe arụgidere ụlọ a na ọ jọgburu onwe ya ọ dịghị mma Naijiria agaghị emekọtanwu ihe ọzọ ihe ọjọọ emego n'obodo a arụ emego egbugo ndị be anyị aka na-egbukwa anyị ndị Fulani wee chere na mabata be anyị ka na-egbukwa ndị be anyị ruo ụtụtụ echi a na-asị m na ọ ga-adị mma oge ọ na-ekwekwu ka nwee mmekọrịta bụ nke ndị nụkọ nke ndị ụmụnne ha egosighị anyị ọtụtụ mgbe ha kpọrọ anyị asị onye ajụrụ ajụ na-ajụ onwe ya ha jụrụ anyị aja ama njụ onwe anyị agbanyeghị na anyị nwe ngwa ahịa n'ugwu Awụsa agbanyeghị na anyị na-azụ ahịa ebe niile dị iche iche na-eme nke ọma kama onye gara ndụ kpakụ onye ire rie n'ihe ọ Ndụbụisi ka anyị na-ekwu okwu ya ka echeghata azụ ebe a ruo obodo anyị ka o wee maa mma wee karịa obodo ndị ọcha na mma ọhịa anyị na-arịọ nwoke na ugwu nwee nkwanye ugwu n'ime onwe anyị ọnwa anyị pụọ n'iro a na-etigbu anyị pụọ n'iro ekwu okwu asị ọ bụ gịnị ma anyị ji wee ekwu okwu ọnwụ ihe ndị a ka anyị sị na anyị agaghị anabatakwa ya ọzọ
akụkọ a kọrọ anyị bụ na ọkụkọ na ewu agaghị nzukọ ụmụ anụmanụ a na-emezi mgbe ọbụla a chọrọ ịchụ aja ejiri ọkụkọ maọbụ nwụchụ aja mgbe ọbụla a chọrọ ime ka Naijiria dị n'otu enwe ha na-eto esi mgbe kpam akpụrụ ndị Igbo ọ pụtara na anyị bụ ọkụkọ maọbụ ka ọ pụtara na anyị agaghị nzukọ mere ya bụ ihe eji eme anyị bụ ndị Igbo ụdị na ọbara ndị Igbo ahụ kpafu n'obodo Naijiria karịa
ọ bụ site na akpọmasị ihe na-eme anyị dịka ihe mere ndị ji oge mgbe gara aga etu ọkụka mba niile dị iche iche ji kpọọ ụmụ Izrel asị a na-egbu ha afọ niile aka na-egbu ha o wee ruo oge ugbu anyị asị na ogbugbu a na-egbu anyị na ọ dịghị anyị mma ọ ka mma na onwe ihe kwegbuo anyị wu nwere onwe njem a nke anyị na-aga kama na na-esi etete n'ụtụtụ asị na onwe onye gburu ebe a onwe ha na-ekwu okwu o doo na onye onwe onye n'aka ụkọchukwu n'ugwu Awụsa ebepụ isi ọnwụghị ofu ugboro ọnwụghị ugboro abụọ ọnwụghị ugboro atọ ọnwụghị ugboro anọ ọ bụ ruo ole mgbe ka a ga-egbugide anyị wee rue anyị asị mba na anyị ga-aga ka anyị nwee ike wee nwere onwe anyị ọ ka mma na anyị nwụrụ ebe anyị na-azọ nwere onwe tụbụ na anyị nọ n'ụlọ etu a mmadụ ibe mabata n'ime ụlọ mbịa gbubu m isi a sị na-achọghị ụdị nka ọ bụghị anyị maka a ga-eji wee chụọ àjà ọzọ onye si na agata anyị ahụhụ ma ọ bụ na anyị fe arụsị anyị wee na-efe arụsị mgbe were iwe gị na ọmụma gị wee bịa leta anyị ụmụ anyị wee na-anwụsị ụfọdụ nọ n'ụzọ ije ha anaghị alọta ụlọ ọzọ nne na nna wee na-ata ahụhụ wee na-ata ikikere eze nwaanyị konye ka ọ gaa ubi gaa rụọ ọrụ Fulani chiri ehi bata ebe ala ihe n'iyi okwu ebepụ ya isi anyị bụ ka anyị kpọpụ onye nwe anyị n'ugwu Awụsa ahụ ejide anyị wee gbuo ihe ọ bụ anyị mara aka n'ime ha si maka ha aga n'ihu elekwa ọdụ ụgbọ mmiri n'igwe ọcha bụ ememile ọhịa nke dị na Kalaba otu aka ahụ anyị na-ala nsọ ebe Biafra ebe ndị kọstọm sokwenye anyị n'etiti anyị anọghị n'ime mmiri kama kọstọm jiri ebe niile ha wee na-ata anyị ahụhụ anyị kwuo ekosịpụta anyị ka kpọchie anyị kwuo ekosịpụta anyị ka gbagbuo anyị onye nwe anyị na Chineke na nke bi n'igwe ọ bụ ụzọ dị anya ka isi wepụ ndị iro anyị anya wee karịa ndị nke gị agwa anyị bụ ụmụ Chineke
Akwaba anyị ka anyị na-aza. Akwaba anyị na-aza Ikechukwu. Akwaba anyị na-aza Amara Chineke. Akwaba anyị na-aza Chisom. Akwaba anyị na-aza Chisobọ. Nna nke dị nsọ onye ime eluigwe dị ka otu onye iro dị na anyị bụ ụmụ gị. Bịa ka iwe zọpụta anyị. Bịa ka iwe napụta anyị n'aka ọjọọ ihe. Bịa ka iwe lụọrọ anyị ọgụ. Bịa ka iwe dịtụ ozu. Ọ bụ ọkọwa mmemme na Goliath. Chineke nna nke igwe ruo mmemme na Fero. Sikwa otu a mee ka Fero ka ọ guzo n'ihu ụmụ ndị anyị bi ka o wee taa akọkọ ikiri ụtọ ọzọ. Ị ga na-edu anyị n'ụzọ niile nke ezi omume. Ọ bụla adịghị na anyị na-aga ndagwurugwu onyinye ọnwụ. Ọ bụ nwa bụ ekerere n'igwe n'ụwa nwunye ọbụla kere gị n'oge malite n'oge ọgwụgwụ kama anyị nwe anyị gwa anọkwa ahụ ofu ụbọchị anyị ga-anwụ n'ezie kama ma akpọ na ogbu gị na nọgide ego mgbe ebighị ebi. Ọ bụ ya mere anyị ji were gị n'anya isi anyị wee na-asị nna nke dị nsọ bịa ka iwe gosi anyị Biafra na ndụ na-abụghị n'ọnwụ. Bịa ka iwe mee ka ebe gị na amara gị wee kpuchiri anyị ka ugwe. Bịa ka iwe zọpụta ndị nke gị. Bịa ka iwe mee ka Biafra wee bịa ka anyị na-ewetụta na nsọpụrụ na ịja mma site n'aha gị onye bụ Chukwu nke abịa ma.
Welcome. This evening, we have come once again, as we always come with evening updates. And this evening, we are going to be playing so many videos to prepare us for what is coming, as we know the global shift that is about to happen. In this global shift, a lot of things are going to happen. And we will continue to bring you updates. We have to prepare ourselves and refresh our mind what the Biafran people have suffered and continue to suffer. So we will not allow anybody to sweep our problem under the cupboard. We will not to run our program. We will continue to speak, and that is why we will go to memory lane. We will go back and bring videos of testimonies of what transpired, why we must have to fight strong now than ever. We have to bring testimonies that will remind you that we must fight this battle. We cannot run away. That is why I am going back to bring videos of testimonies of the Biafran war for us to know what is happening and evidence to show you that Nigeria is irredeemable. They hate us, and now that it is clear that they hate us, all we need to do is to find our way out of that contraption. Let us listen to this testimony while you must prepare yourself and say never again.
My dad was 67 March. So my mom was going to be Port Harcourt. Julia took then in Menuru Street, number 15 Menuru Street. The last time she did railway station go to Port Harcourt. I can't train was sugar so well. No more looking train out, so last year, I might even met in the man neighbor. So, wherefore, that first coach, that exit, wherefore a headless man, who never police, a man, who can drink, who police, and I can't look at now, I'm Jack and you are in a broad like that. We never tried to train of 1 hour and a half. What I can one boy, 5 years old, it would be like an apple, who people now. What's all kinds of all I got my life, like me, we're only the 2 1 more. But as you said, what at that point, we only want to come there. That's happening in a coca. One morning, I don't know to put idea if we go. I come so see by coca. Maybe I some or someone about somewhere there, or Stasha. said for the benefit of the guy announcer, or we call one in English. All I went down said that now, we have given everything. And not on that he couldn't guarantee their safety indefinitely. I'm quoting you. As a result of which, okay, they never free and safe passage back to it better.
I was enough when divine business.
Yes. Free and safe passage together. And I was free. Even down to the house broom, I heard that. Down to Aziza, we have an escort. Now we put on a first battalion. Up forward 2 months in advance. Yes. In advance, 2 months. That thing alone should have said, I better know. Ndani naso, mandani naso. Come on, one day go on. The people to women. Or terror people matter. The same people lead where they can watch Kunenu. Open on power to be here. I don't know what you say. I took it in more. What do you mean? If I one down, I'm following me. And that day, just look at for your life. Train out.
This is an eyewitness account of what transpired during the Civil War. This story is so touching, and again, it is a lesson. You heard him. This is an eyewitness that after the Northerners, the Fulanese have murdered our people, they put them in train and brought them back. You see the corpse of children, pregnant women, their belly were opened and removed the baby. The men were headless. That Ojukwu still did not get angry to fight them. Instead, Ojukwu went to Coal Camp, gathered all the Northerners there, and told them that he cannot guarantee their security if they continue to stay in Biafra land because of what their people are doing. But he's going to give them a safe passage back to their place. And Ojukwu protected all the Northerners. Ojukwu protected them and sent them back to their places and paid them 2 months' salary ahead. All of those of them that are working with the government paid them 2 months ahead and sent them back. Told them to take every of their belonging up to Broom. They should take everything. And he gave them security to go back. But what did they do? Instead of those people to go back and speak about the good gesture of the Biafran people, of the Biafran leader, Dim Odumegwu, instead of them to go and speak to go on and tell Nigerian military that these people are not interested in fighting anybody, that all they want is peace. Instead of them to go and tell their people how Ojukwu protected them, the same people that Ojukwu protected, the same army he paid double arrears, were the people that were sent back. They came back to kill Ojukwu in Enugu. The same people he protected, they came back to take his life. That is to show you no matter what you do for these people, you can't please them. No matter what you do, you cannot please them. You see why every one of us must wake up? You see why every one of us must prepare? That this hatred is not just ordinary. We must every single of us must prepare and get ready. This is not a joke. This is not for fun. We must pay attention. We are dealing with unrepentant people. They are unrepentant. They will do anything they can to take our life at the slightest opportunity. That is why I'm bringing this story to remind
They
you.
did not mention Biafra or the Igbo people as part of the genocide. They mentioned Cambodia.
This is an explanation that Biafra was never remembered as a genocide, even with all the deaths that were recorded. It is sad. But the hatred and the tribal politics you are seeing today, I want you to see where it started.
Let's look at a little bit of history. You know, when Nnamdi Azikiwe came back from the United States, he started his politics in Lagos. Let's look at a little bit of history. You know, when Nnamdi Azikiwe came back from the United States, he started his politics in Lagos. He gained ground a lot and actually controlled the politics in Lagos. Then when Awolowo came back from the United Kingdom, Awolowo was looking for a foothold, what to lean on, how to form his base, and he brought in tribalism in politics. He now told the Yorubas, why should any woman come and be this and be that? And that was how tribalism started in politics in Nigeria. Then that 1951 debacle in the Western House, where Zik was going to be the premier of Western Veterans. But overnight, there was cross carpet and he lost out. That done. Remember then, in 1949, an Hausa man was elected the mayor of Enugu. The mayor of Enugu. An Hausa man was elected in Onitsha for Onitsha province as the representative in the House of Chiefs. A Yoruba man was elected in Port Harcourt as the mayor of Port Harcourt. His deputy was Magi Adiboman. So things were going very well. Then recently, we just have this paranoia about the Igbo man in Lagos. Ordinarily, the Igbo man doesn't give a damn who is where, especially if there is efficiency. The Igbo man is individualistic, and the individualistic person is usually proficient, usually creative, usually productive. So if he sees a productive person, he works with that person, no matter where the person comes from.
You have heard it. This is the origin of the politics you see in Nigeria today, the tribal bigotry. The tribal bigotry you are seeing today started from Awolowo because of his own personal and selfish interests. When he came back to Nigeria, he needed power by all means. Before then, the Igbos were already everywhere, doing things normally. Even the Yorubas were in positions in Biafra land. They were mayors in Biafra land. They were council leaders in Biafra land, including this Janjaweed. But Awolowo came back and felt he has to have a foothold, and he started the tribal politics, which today, Tunupu is the one today leading the tribal madness that you are seeing. These things are very important for us to know. That whatever is happening today did not start today. It started long, long before now. It started a long time ago. But we cannot pretend that all is well. And we cannot think that the Fulani will change. They will never change. The hatred from the Yorubas also will be difficult to change. Nigeria is not one. There is chaos everywhere. Betrayal between the Yorubas and the Fulanis. Between the Yorubas and the Igbos. The whole tribe, no one trusts each other. There is no trust in Nigeria. Nigeria is not one, has never been one, and will never be one. That is why everybody must pay attention to the manipulation of the Fulanis. But the main painful thing is that today they have succeeded in hijacking Nigerian federal government. And they are the ones sponsoring the terrorists by themselves. And as they are sponsoring terrorists, they are trying to push Sharia by force. That is one reason why everybody, whether you are Yoruba or any other tribe, for your own sake, Biafra is not your problem. The Fulanis have an agenda, and the agenda is to Islamize Nigeria with their own kind of terrorism. And they are going to do it, whether you like it, whether you don't like it. If you think they're going to stop, think again. They will definitely do it. The only thing that will stop them is when we walk out of this zoological republic. I want us to hear this testimony from a military man. Maybe when you hear from a military man, you might understand that we are not joking. It is true.
Nigerian governments have proven to us that they are in charge of terrorism in Nigeria. They are in charge of terrorism in Nigeria. And this is why terrorists will continue to kidnap innocent citizens, terrorize the whole country, killing our soldiers. And at the end of the day, they will be invited for peace talk. Tomorrow, they will still come out and contest for politics. And they will definitely become the president of the country. This is why terrorism and banditry have become the side jobs of the politicians. And they are all doing it and succeeding because the security agencies are not doing the needful, and the politicians are also not doing the needful, because I don't see a country like this where terrorists are forgiven, but freedom fighters are trapped in jail. What's the meaning of that? They will still come out and say they won't get peace talk, and both the security agencies and the politicians will be posing and taking pictures with them. Posing and taking pictures with them. Where is your conscience, Nigerian government? Where is your conscience?
You can see it. The person that is speaking is a military man, an insider. So when we say Nigerian government is a terrorist government and they are the ones sponsoring the insecurity, some of you think we are making it up. That is why it is important we begin to play videos of confession of people who were in there. The people who were inside there. So it is not just about us. It is not about us at all. The people who were inside there. That is why when we see these videos, we bring it and we play it. So that you wouldn't say you didn't know. The Fulani have been planning these things for a long time. And the funny thing that Yorubas think that it is just about us. It is not only the Igbos. Even the Mazin Nanikano told the Yorubas that this very lion you are feeding will come back to hunt you. And they thought it was a joke today. They didn't listen from what Afonja did to them. Many of you remember the story of Afonja. Let us listen to this. You hear what the Fulanis did to the Yoruba, and today, Tunubu is dragging them into that again.
And without Balu Godeni, they would have been ruling us the way they did in northern part of Nigeria. The Hausas were conquered. So when we now talk about Hausa Fulani, there's nothing like that. But because they were conquered by the Fulani at that time, that's why the Fulani is now the Emma. Most of the places like you have Emma of Kano, you have Emma of Sokoto. They are Fulanis. They are Fulanis. They are not the real owner of the land. They tried to Yoruba land, but our forefathers, Balu Goderi, suppressed the insurrection of the Fulani at the Battle of Osu in 1840.
But they captured the Yoruba land.
Yes, they captured it through deception. You see, they betrayed Afaja. Afaja trusted him because they projected themselves with their religion. And he allowed them. He accommodated these people. He accommodated them. Because he thought, well, maybe they will bring peace to the land. But they had a ulterior motive. So, through his trust in the people of the Fulani extracts, they betrayed him. And he took it on from the Yorubas.
Did Afonja betray Yoruba land?
It may appear so. It may appear so, actually. Because of what transpired between Alaafin Oyo and Afonja. There was an issue between Alaafin Oyo and Afonja. That can appear from the Yorubas. Trust in the Fulanis. Let me declare independence from Alaafin. And that amount to betrayal. He paid with his life for that betrayal.
He trusted Alimi.
He trusted Halimi totally. Halimi put himself in service. He became a priest to Afanja himself. So Afanja did not make use of his own army anymore. There was alliance in Yoruba land, including the Gogo, the Onikoyi of Ikoyi. They all form alliance to fight him. But Afanja now rely on the soldiers of the Fulani. So they betrayed him because they have their own motive. And Afanja was not careful. The betrayer, and Allah only put a curse on him because he was the one that brought about the death of Allah. And so because of that betrayer, he put a curse on him before he committed suicide. After Oyo was besieged, led by Afanja. So now, Abel now put a curse on Afanja before he died. And so that curse now came to pass when Fulani betrayed him and killed him.
When you say curse,
yes,
does curses work?
Yes, curses are powerful in Yoruba land and everywhere in the world. This was a leader. This was the Allah himself. He was empowered by God as a descendant of Udua, the progenitor of the Yorubas. So he was the one that was sitting on the throne. That's how he, and his cause was effective, very powerful. It was not ordinary cause, it was a spiritual cause.
And it affected Africa.
It affected Africa, and to some extent, all Yorubas.
Balogun Odenilo can also be said to be connected to the fight around that axis at that time.
Balogun Odenilo sat under Afanja before, when he was in Lori, before he came to Ibadan. Balogun Odenilo was born in Lori. So he was part of the Afanja army before he migrated to Ibadan. But he stayed in some places before he reached Ibadan, like Urukana, like Iran. He stayed in those places. He helped to fortify the place before he eventually came to Ibadan.
So his exposure to the Fulanis in Ilorin was what he needed at the time the Oshobo war started.
Exactly. He fought with them. They were together under the African. So he knew their tactics. He knew how they fight. He has seen them fight. And that helped him. He has studied them very well. He knew their the weapon they use, the way they fight, the formation of battle. So he knew them very well. He knew when to attack them. That's why he attacked them during the night.
Now, Odenilo reigned at the same time when Oluyole was reigning. Oluyole was the passion.
Oluyole was the passion. In other words, he was the head overall. Whereas Balogun Odenilo was the Balogun at that time, next to Oluyole.
Now, in the book,
yes,
it seems they had cordial relations.
Very, very cordial relationship. Very, very cordial. In fact, Odenilo helped me. Odenilo was in Ibadan before Oluyole.
This is to showcase to you the manipulation of the Fulani. Fulani did not start manipulating today, but unfortunately, the Yorubas did not learn their lesson. Today, Yorubas are still dancing into the hand of the Fulanis. They have not learned their lesson. Tinubu is dragging the Yorubas to the Fulanis again for slaughter, and it is happening. Look at what is happening in Kwara State today. The same Ilorin that Afonja gave to the Fulani. Go and look at what is happening today. They are trying to take it over, and blood is spilling in that place. And some of them, they fail to understand that they even have more problem than we, the Biafrans. They fail to understand they have more serious problem than we, the Biafrans. And some of them think that they can stop Biafra. Nothing can stop Biafra. Nigeria will break up, whether you like it or not. And it is not just only the Biafra that are saying it. Even other people, even the Yorubas, they know that Nigeria is going to break up. Some of them that are sincere to themselves, they say it. No matter the lie they push here and there, they know it will break up. I want you to watch this. As they continue to put their lie, we will continue to bring out updates.
The Igbos miscalculate at some point in the history of Nigeria.
No, no. Well, as far as the war was concerned, it was a miscalculation. The war was not necessary. They shouldn't have gone to war. Maybe have provoked people had no choice but to go to war. They had no choice other than to fight to defend it, to defend the humanity. I supported Ojukwu 1000%. They were pushed to the wall. They had to fight. They had to create their own country.
The person that is speaking is a Yoruba man. A Yoruba man is the one talking, telling you that at that time we had no choice. Just like every other person said, every testimony we had from people who were there said, Ojukwu himself was fighting reluctantly. You saw I played the testimony of the man who said how Ojukwu secured them, the Northerners, and sent them back peacefully. And still yet, that did not touch the heart of the Northerners. It did not touch the heart of Gowon. They still unleashed on us to destroy us and took the life of almost 5 million people. Even with our good gesture. And if you were to, what will you do? This is a Yoruba man telling you that even if it is him, he will do the same thing. He's telling that he supported the action of Ojukwu. A Yoruba man is saying that he supported what Ojukwu did because we had no option. The same way today, we don't have any option except to get out of Nigeria. And we will do everything to get out.
I supported Ojukwu 1000%. They were pushed to the wall. They had to fight. They had to create their own country by fire, by force.
Do you think there should be Biafra?
Of course. Of course. Of course. Why did I go and visit my Segu's mother? Why did I go to the east for my honeymoon? Why did I go to Lagos or go to somewhere else to do my honeymoon after marriage?
You went to the house of Chinua Achebe.
I went to Chinua Achebe in Nsukka University. I spent a night there. I went to Mazi, the author, what's his name now? He was president of this movement. He lived somewhere close to Enugu. You know, I went to see him. I spent a night there.
Will Biafra come?
It will come. I mean, Nigeria is going to break up. Nobody can do anything about it. Nobody.
Why are you so certain?
Because I know it will happen. No country operated the way Nigeria has been operated can survive. It's not possible. All the rogues who are running the country down, who are doing all sorts of things they are doing now, will pass away. They will not be there forever.
Did you hear that? The message was clear that Biafra is going to come. It does all this propaganda they are doing, all this maga. At the end of the day, just like Master Simon Eber said, everything will end on the round table. Everything will end on the round table. But I wish that our Yoruba brothers, some of them, can have reason and know that we are not their problem. Our Yoruba brothers should know that Biafrans are not their problem. They are facing more challenges and they are even at risk more than us. But some of them are not paying attention. There are some of them that Tinubu is still deceiving and they think we are their problem. For us, we are prepared. Biafrans are very prepared. All their propaganda and blackmail of Nigeria has been decimated. We want to be free. They brought a propaganda, they say we are landlocked. They preach it every time. They bring one propaganda, one lie, and they preach it, and people begin to believe it. The same way people believe the Igbo coup. Even Igbos believe that Igbo coup. That was why Ohanese and Igbo came together and they were planning to go and beg. God forbid. Ohanese was planning to go and beg the Fulani for something we did not do because they believed that Igbos caused the war when it was not an Igbo coup. They preach and say we are landlocked, that we don't have access to the sea, we are landlocked, which was a lie that had been debunked on several occasions. They say we are landlocked. Buhari say we are a dot in the circle. All this is to make us Be afraid of fighting for our freedom. That is why today you see some people jumping city boys. Anyone they talk, anyone they push them, they go. Because they believe that we can't stand on our own. We can stand on our own and we are not landlocked. Only the Igbo section are only our only, even if you say only Igbo area, the place where you have the Igbos, we are not landlocked. And I want to play this video to remind you of our position, to show you that we are not landlocked. Because that is one of the lies they have told for a very long time. And some people begin to believe that lie. We must continue to fight for our rights.
The Southeast is not landlocked. Actually, the Southeast has the deepest and the shortest access to the Atlantic Ocean.
Did you hear that?
All of Nigeria.
Did you hear that?
Since after the Biafran War of survival, the Igbo have been hit with a barrage of lies and propaganda, concerning our access to the ocean.
Yes.
And in a condescending but rather popular phrase, our detractors say that the Southeast or Igbo is landlocked. But is Igbo landlocked? The answer is no. Igbo is not. Igbo land is not landlocked. And like I said earlier, we have one of the deepest access to the ocean. Now, with this, I would like to welcome you to another interesting episode at Voice of the Sun. Today, we'll be dispelling the lies and the propaganda that says that Igbo land is landlocked and we do not have access to the ocean, which is something you will always hear in the Nigerian media space. So now, before we go ahead to discuss the geography of Igbo, I would like for us to define what a landlocked region or country is, right? So, a country or region is considered landlocked when it is surrounded by one or more countries and therefore has no immediate coastline preceding, or providing access to the sea or the ocean. Now, simply put, this means that a landlocked country is a country that is inside another country. Now, with this definition, would you say that Igbo land is inside another country? The answer is no. The answer is no. So, to understand the far reach of our land, Igbo, let us dive into a little geography, and list the far reaches, not few, the far reaches of our land, Igbo, before the Nigerian government, carved it all up, carved it out, and turned them into the south, leaving us with just 5 southeastern states, right? So, Igbo are located on both sides of the River Niger, and we occupy most of the old eastern region. Before we had southeast, we had at independence, we had an old eastern region which compassed the 5 southeastern states, rivers, all the south states were under the old eastern region, right? So let us look at that location, that geographical location. So Igbo, that is what I want to Igbo. It measures up to 41,000 square kilometers, and it includes the old provinces of Onitsha, Owerri, East Rivers, which is Iguacha, which they renamed as Port Harcourt, and then we have southwest Benin. No, not southwest Benin. We have southeast Benin, the Abo area, and then coming down Abo area. Yes, then we have West Ugoja, and then we have the northeast Warri. All of these are the areas that you will find all around the south, the whole eastern Nigeria, right? So now a detailed study of Igbo will show you that. So now I'm going into the rivers, the waterways, the tributaries we have in Igbo. Now, a detailed study of our topography would show you that Abia State, Keta, Imo State, Anambra have some of the shortest distances, tributaries leading to the Atlantic Ocean. We have the Azumini or Azumiri in Abia State. We have Imo River. We have Omambala, which is River Niger. And then we have Oguta Lake in Imo State. We have Oseakwa River in Ihiala, Anambra State, which actually terminates in the southeast end of the Atlantic Ocean. And then these rivers I mentioned above, they all have short, very, very short navigational paths to the Atlantic Ocean. And geographically, they have far shorter distances. If you measure the distance, if it's not measured in nautical miles, from land to the sea, measured in nautical miles. But the nautical miles of these rivers, they are shorter than that of Calabar, Port Harcourt, Ibaka seaport, to the Atlantic Ocean. One of my lights have gone up, but we must continue. So yeah. So the Azumini River in Abia State and the Imo River are basically 15 to 30 nautical miles to the beachhead of the Atlantic Ocean. Keep this in mind. The Azumini in Abia and the Imo River are 15 to 30 nautical miles to the beachhead of the Atlantic Ocean. And then we have the Obuaku River in Abia State, which is 25 nautical miles. 25 nautical miles to the Atlantic Ocean from the confluence of the Azumini River and the Imo River. Where the Azumini River and the Imo River meets, there you find the Obuaku River, and it has 25 nautical miles to the Atlantic Ocean. And then we have the Osakwa River in Ihiala, which I mentioned earlier, which is just a mere 18 nautical miles to the Atlantic Ocean, and it has a depth of 65 feet, making it the deepest waterway to the Atlantic Ocean, the deepest natural waterway to the Atlantic Ocean in Nigeria as a whole. Other waterways, other seaports might be deep, but they were dredged. This one is 65 feet deep. Osakwa River, here in Anambra State. Deep in Nigeria, naturally. Right? So, and then we have Osemoto in Oguta. The pronunciation is what I'm trying to get. I've not been there before. It's spelled Osemoto, Osemoto in Oguta. It has 18 nautical miles to the Atlantic Ocean. Right? So to understand why I said we have the shortest and the closest and the deepest waterways to the Atlantic Ocean, let us compare these rivers I mentioned above now in Anibu to the seaports in Nigeria. So the Port Harcourt seaport was dredged up to 50 miles to the Atlantic Ocean through the Bonny River. 50. On a seaport was dredged up to 60 miles to the Atlantic Ocean. The Calabar seaport was dredged 45 miles, nautical miles. When I say miles, nautical miles, 45 nautical miles to the Atlantic Ocean. Ibaka seaport is 30 nautical miles to the Atlantic Ocean. This one comes closer to what we have in Ani. One is small, little, right? 30 nautical miles to the Atlantic Ocean. And then the Lagos seaport, the seaports in Lagos, were dredged 50 nautical miles to the Atlantic Ocean. So that this means that the water in the current southeast region alone, have fewer nautical miles and are closer to the Atlantic Ocean than the Onne, Calabar, Ibaka, Lagos, and Port Harcourt seaports. I want this to sink in so you understand that you have been lied to. You have been lied to. Let this sink in. Every other seaport in Nigeria exists today was dredged to get to where they are. But naturally, we have the shortest distance to the Atlantic Ocean. And if we further dredge these tributaries to the Atlantic Ocean, we would have some of the best seaports you have in Africa. Wow, let me just say in Nigeria. Alright, so that being said, we move forward. So in 1959 was before our independence in 1960. So you understand where I'm going to. The Osakwa River in Ihiala and the Osemoto in Oguta were marked out to be made seaports. You understand? They were marked out to be made seaports. But the projects were abandoned by the Nigerian government. It is not today they started trying to hinder Igbo progress. They abandoned the projects of the seaport projects in Anibu. And even the Admiralty membership license was erased. to confirm what I'm saying, the African Development Bank has a report on this particular project. You can go search. I think I will find the report. It will be in an article we'll publish for this video, so you see it there. So that being said, so let us get to how did we indeed. Now, before I even get to how we lost our lands as indeed, I want you to try and wrap your head around all I have said. An Igbo is not landlocked. An Igbo is not landlocked. I'm putting this so that it registers in the head of both our people and both our detractors. An Igbo is not landlocked. By distance to the sea, by having multiple access tributaries to the Atlantic Ocean and having one of the deepest waterways in the Atlantic Ocean, we are not landlocked. So let us move forward. Now, how did we lose so much of our lands? How did Indigo of this generation now come to believe that, we are landlocked, we don't have access to the sea? How did we get there? So now, some of the major contributors to this, of how we lost our ancestral lands, because these are our ancestral lands, and natural access to the ocean, was the abandoned property policy, in the south, in the new form South, and the Igbophobia, the hate of Igbo that followed the Biafran war of survival. It was genocide on us that we had to fight to survive. Over 3 million killed. So many of our Igbo brothers, after they started to deny their Igbo-ness and ancestry, you find this a lot in Port Harcourt. You will find it across the Niger among some of our Myanmar brothers who now say they're not Igbo. But you bear Igbo names. You find the likes of Rotimi Amechi, Wike that say they're not Igbo. You are answering an Igbo name. There was one that was a Nigerian team, somebody will listen. Sunday will listen. Excuse me. Sunday will say he was not an Igbo man. And you know, where is Olisa from? So, but I'm just trying to point to you how some of our Igbo brothers had to deny their Igbo-ness because of the stigma of that Biafran war. So, and then also by 1976, when General Olusegun Obasanjo was the then military president, he used this. There was a Justice Nasir boundary adjustment commission that was created, and they intentionally carved out Igbo territories and carved them into the new fangled mangled is the word, South. He created the South, which does not exist on the map anywhere in the world. South is not a region that exists anywhere in the world, only in Nigeria. He created this to reduce the political power, the resources, and what have you of the Igbo. And he created the South. And that was in 1976, the work of Olusegun Obasanjo and his Justice Nasir boundary adjustment commission. That was when we lost some of our lands. And then going forward, and there are other ways too we lost our lands, but these are the major ones. Now brings us down to the state creation of states and all of that. And over the years, there was no more history. Like after the war, history was erased from Nigerian schools. So without teaching of history, there are certain things you wouldn't know about your history was erased. So Igbo would not even know their ancestry, who their brothers were, how far reached their lands were. We lost all of this with the stopping of teaching of history. Some of us know these things because we invest time in studying our history. You look at the books you see on the set, you see I have lots of history books. This is just a few of what I have in my library. And then we'll have materials online. Lots. If you don't know your history, one day you are gone. You wouldn't know it. A foreigner will come and lie to you that your father killed your mother and you believe it because you don't know your history. So when I'm going forward, we're coming to the conclusion. So in conclusion, it is important for us as Indigo to know that we have a legal access to the ocean. We have a legal access to the ocean. And this legal access is known as the international law of the sea. The international law of the sea. Whether you are in Nigeria, whether we Indigo belong to Nigeria or we have a country of our own, this law gives us unhindered access to the nearest sea because we are indigenous people. Every indigenous people who have waterways leading to the Atlantic Ocean have rights to the ocean and can say that this part of the ocean belongs to us. So among all the waterways I listed, at least you can say we have close to 8 in Anim that have short and deep tributaries to the Atlantic Ocean. So then tomorrow you come out and tell me, or you tell my children that we don't have access to the ocean, that we're landlocked. You lie. You lie. You understand? So whether we're in Nigeria or we're not in Nigeria, we have access to the Atlantic Ocean. Know this and know this today. Anibo is not landlocked. So some of the other laws that back our legal access to the Atlantic Ocean are the United Nations Treaty of the Sea. United Nations Treaty of the Sea, and also the African Union Treaties and Conventions of the Sea. Hear me again. We have the International Law of the Sea, we have the United Nations Treaty of the Sea, and then we have the African Union Treaty and Convention of the Sea. These laws guarantee that indeed we have access to the Atlantic Ocean. And as long as Nigeria and the countries around us, Cameroon and the rest, are signatories to these international laws, then they do not have any right to prevent us from having that access. It's just that it's so bad that certain things in Nigeria have been put on the exclusive list of the federal government. Things like railway lines and major refineries and even seaports. States can't even have seaports. If not, we can create seaports of our own. You know, in Imo, every Imo state will create a seaport. Abia state will have a seaport. Anambra will have a seaport. You know, and then we move ahead with our lives. But we're in a federal government where the constitution hinders the progress of the people. That is why we are saying that we want Nigeria restructured, or divide and we go. It's as simple as that. So we'll leave that. We will leave this particular what I just said now for another video entirely. So we have access to the Atlantic Ocean, and we have multiple access to the Atlantic Ocean. If you go to River Niger, if River Niger is dredged, because most of the seaports in Nigeria were dredged to get to the Atlantic Ocean. River Niger is dredged. We would through Bonny, we'll be at the Atlantic Ocean. The big ships come dock, you know, at the seaport. With smaller vessels, they come into Onitsha and we'll float. Onitsha main market keeps boosting, you understand? And when people tell you that they can't dredge water, it's a lie. It's a lie. There are places in the world where they were just tiny waterways. They were dredged to have now I would call them major seaports and access to the sea. London has a seaport, but they don't have access to the sea. They had to dredge their way to the sea, and most of the ships that come into the UK come to London, but London has a waterway to the sea which is dredged. There's this I've forgotten the name. We'll leave this for another video. It's another video. But the summary of what I'm saying, even now, I'm telling you is that Anibo is not land. Anibo is not land. Tell us this to our enemies, tell this to our children, tell this to your children, tell this to your family members that we have multiple access to them. And with this woman name, I will come to the end of this interesting and educative episode of Voice of the Sun. If you have any opinion or comments, you can drop them wherever you find this video, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, wherever. And feel free, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also follow us on Facebook and on Twitter, wherever you find this video, and also share this video so that our people will know the truth about who we are and what we are. In the band, boy, I do go so till next time when we meet again. Darling, yeah, man.
Thank you so much for that very wonderful presentation. is to take us back to where we are coming from. We have been talking about this, and this is not the first time I'm playing this video, but I just have to go back to this video again and we refresh our memory because some of us are confused. Some of us are still buying into the propaganda of the people hate us and they try everything they can to make us small, to make us feel that we can't do anything, to make us feel that we are not small. In population, we are the highest. In landmass, we are big. In everything you can think of, we have it. But they use their propaganda and blackmail with threats. Some people even decided to deny who they are, just like he was explaining. But whether you deny or you don't deny, it doesn't take away our land from us. We know our boundaries. We know our land. We know where we belong. And when we finally get our self-determination done completely, we will know our boundaries. We know our boundaries. Nobody's going to draw the map for us. We know our map. So however they do it, always understand that we have something ahead. This is not the time to attack each other. This is not the time to fight. Anything you can do today, always think about your future. Think about people around you. Think about your neighbor. Think about your brothers and sisters. Don't be too selfish. Selfishness and self-centeredness, too much of love for money. These are the things that are bringing obstacle and dragging us back. These are the things that are dragging us back. We must begin to rethink and do things differently if we must get our freedom. And finally, I want us to listen to this advice from this guy. Let's hear what this man has to say on this video. A word for all the Igbo people.
Abụ nwanne unu nwoke Timothy Ofegwu. Ị na-anya n'ala Igbo anyị taa, asị na ihe ọjọọ na-abawanye ntọ ebe niile. Ịhụrụ anụ ahụ, ime anụ ahụ mmadụ, kidney na liver nke a na-akpọ organ harvesting ebe niile. Ndị dibịa a na-enyi nwaanyị n'afọ ime, were ndị fake pastors ewere aka odo na-akụ ụmụazị bekasịa ha achụ aja ego inwe ego. Nwatakịrị nọ na university 18 years 19 years njeru na one of the universities like East for federal government consulting work, bulu Land Cruiser 2025 wee na-abịa akwụkwọ. Ụfọdụ na-ajụ kelee ebe mmiri si boat ụgbọgụrụ, kelee ebe mmiri ya si gbalụ. Ebe o si gbalụ bụ mgbe anyị bido celebrate mesọnsọ ndị ji ego. Eziafa ka ego ọsọ na ala Igbo, ego oke eziafa. Ihe onye ọbụla chọrọ bụ by all means ka ego ahụ ruo ya aka. And by the way, ndị na-eti money na water adreesị ndị Igbo, o ji ehi 120 minna ya, o ji akpati 590 million minne ya. O mere nke o mere nke a wenata n'aka. Ndị Igbo wenata n'aka, ọsọ unu fụla ego. Ebi m ma Abuja, bịa Abuja ka ịfụ ndị nwere oyi wel ka ha na-eyi sanda na-agala onwe ha n'ilo. Jee na Yoruba ka ịfụ ndị nwere oyi wel ji aka ha n'anya moto na-abụghọ bodyguards. N'ihe niile na-ahụ anyị n'ọnụ bụ mgbede ụfọdụ ajụ ihe niile a na-eme ebe etu anyị si efe ego. A na-atụ ego na bọndụ, na-atụnye ego elu, eji akwamozu ekreti go VIP. Onwe onye na-eji ama ọnụ dị ide na ọka amala ụdị wine na aṅụlụ na akwamozu nne akpati ya ọdụ floating ka akpati ya ọbụ gold. Nsusu anyị ụwa ndị ọzọ edebego anyị. Anyị na-asọ na anyị ma ihe na anyị ma ihe mana dị omume niile ọ dị ka ihe ndị ma ihe. Ọ bụ na ndị ọbụla na-eti ego na-achọ ka ọ kpata ego, ndị ikele na ndị nze na ọzọ na ndị igwe na ndị eze enweghị onye anyị echi echichi n'aha onye nwere ego. Ndị ụka enweghị onye anyị abịa ndị nne maọbụ nna ya, mbụ bishọp maọbụ echichi ọbụla ochie n'aha onye nwere ego. Ndị nwere ego ka a na-echi ezi nne, na-echi ada ụka na nke ọzọ, ndị ụmụ ha nwere ego. Ịmanụ na ụmụaka na-enye n'ihe niile achọ ka ha kpata ego by all means. Echekwana na ntọ ya akwụsị taa, echekwana na ihe ọjọọ ya akwụsị. Mgbanwe niile a ga-ebido ịkwụsịnụ mgbe ndị ụka bidoro ikwu eziokwu, mgbe anyị eresi etu ogbenye maka na ọkwụbala aka ọtọ ọ chọghị ịkpa ego ọbara, mgbe anyị ga-eme mmadụ anya wee sị ya na agaghị egwu ige okwu n'isi maka ụdị mmadụ ego ebee ka ego gosi mgbe anyị ajụ nwa agbọghọ lụrụ ụlọ be nna ya ebee ka isi weta ego mgbe nwaanyị nọ na di nọkọta bụrụ bilonia overnight onweghị onye jụrụ ya ajụjụ ma di a na-etu ya ashala ugwu nsogbu anyị abago ụba so na anyị ga-ejikọta n'ụzọ ọjọọ ahụ anyị na-aga wee malite ugbu a jụba onwe anyị igo niile a na-efe n'elu 400 cows eji enyi nne na nna akpati 1 billion anyị na-akọ maka ibu nne na nna gị nwụrụ anwụ na helikọpta ọbụbụ omenala anyị ọ na-abụ nje funerals mgbe ụfọdụ ifela a na-eme ifu ebe a na-akpọpụ nwanyị n'ọnwanyị 600,000 n'ọnwanyị 800,000 ndị VIP anyị kpachapụ anya anyị. The younger generation are looking at us. Afọ mbụ Timothy of Igbo ka anyị hie aka n'anya mee anyị Igbo ka ọ bụla ebe anyị ga-enwekwa contentment ihe onye nwere ka o ju ya afọ ka anyị hapụ ị na-ene anya ka anyị nwekọtachi ihe niile o nwebeghị onye mụchiri anya mụghee mala ebe ọ nọ na ọ bụla onye nwụrụ anwụ esepụ nkwụbara aka gị ọtọ ụfọdụ akpakọchago ihe niile ofu oge ọya tụ ha ụfọdụ kpobiri mmụọ n'ike ọ bụrụ ihe niile a ka anyị na-egburu onwe anyị ka uche anyị dị ya ka uche anyị dị ya.
That was an amazing advice, and it's left for you to make use of those advice and caution yourself, more especially our Igbo brothers. Caution yourself. Your attitude, the way you present yourself, has a lot to do with the way people look at you. We must caution ourselves. And we must focus on this, our freedom that matters to us. Focus on the self-determination. Remain consistent. Money is not everything. Don't be too selfish. Be selfless. Do things that is going to benefit others, not just yourself. Freedom is not dashed to. If you want to be free, you need to be prepared to fight. If you want to be free, freedom is not dashed to anybody. Freedom is not dashed, it's not given, it's taken. That is why you need to fight for it. I want you to hear this. Nobody's going to dash you freedom.
But I take it then you support the freedom-loving attempts of the peaceful marchers in Alabama and these places.
You don't get freedom peaceful. Freedom is never safeguarded peaceful. Anyone who is depriving you of freedom isn't deserving of a peaceful approach by the ones who are being deprived of their freedom.
That is Malcolm X speaking. You heard him. That you don't get freedom in a peaceful mode by begging. No. You need to fight. You need to be prepared to do something to take it. That's what Malcolm X says. And it is true.
Peaceful marches in Alabama and these places.
You don't get freedom peaceful. Freedom is never safeguarded peaceful. Anyone who is depriving you of freedom isn't deserving of a peaceful approach by the ones who are being deprived of their freedom.
So, you have had it, and we must begin to prepare ourselves. We must begin to ready our mind for what is coming. A lot is going to happen in the coming days. A lot is going to happen. The Fulanis are not giving up. Taking over Nigeria and making it an Islamic state is a project that they will never go back. If you want to stop it, you must be prepared. Every other ethnic groups, whether Yoruba or Hausa, whatever, if you think by begging you can make Fulani stop the Islamization, they will never stop. They will never stop. I didn't just say it, many people have said it. I'm not the first one saying it, and they will never stop.
Mr. Speaker, our constitution allows for freedom of worship of all religions. Mr. Speaker,
What they are discussing here is how to bring Sharia to other states in Nigeria. They want to bring Sharia to your state. Whether you are Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, you are whatever, anywhere, they want to bring Sharia to your state.
we will not sit in this hollow chamber and restrict ourselves to just a few. If we begin to put such components into the constitution, tomorrow the ecclesiastical faction comes up. The day after, the traditional faction comes up. The day after, all other components begin to come up. And what happens to our grand norm that is supposed to be a foundation of our existence? Mr. Speaker, Nigeria has never limited anybody from practicing his religion. You go to states like in the north, where you have Sharia being practiced as the criminal code for those states. It is because it's peculiar to them as a people and as persons. By the time we begin to expand it and bring it into our constitution, we are not an Islamic state. We're a secular state. We're not a celestial state. We're a secular state. We are not a traditional worship state. We're a secular state that respects and gives everybody a sense of belonging. We're a nation. We need to be sensitive to the mood and the existence, freedom of speech, freedom of association, to live in happiness, not a scenario whereby there could be some misconceptions. To this end, I wish to create the daughters of the and consultation, which is more in tune with norms. But I do not believe it's legislation that's for second read. I so submit.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my respected colleagues. I want to comment as the second to the last speaker spoke. In fact, the bill that was moved by the sponsor, we are supposed to commend him. I agree that Nigeria is a secular state where we have different opinions, traditions, religion, and what have you. But if you see this motion or this bill, it will help Nigerians to know that these commercial banks, especially Taj Bank and what have you, many people have perceived that these banks are specifically for Muslims, while it is not. So by expanding this nature, I believe when it is encompasses to everybody, many people will see the benefit of this bill, and I believe in the near future, many people will see that the mover put this in a right direction. Thank you very much.
Honorable Queer, and you Queer, I rise to add my voice to this all-important motion for a bill to amend our constitution with respect to the expansion of the description our governments that they shall not adopt religion, meaning that Nigeria is a secular state. Number two is the fact that Section 38 is very clear as to the rights given to all Nigerians in terms of choice of religion and how they worship. Section 2 goes further to say that Nigeria is a federation consisting of the federal government and then the state governments, giving the states the liberality to adopt whatever kind of law they want to use in governing their people. And that's why we have some states with all this Sharia law and all of that. They are permitted to do it, the state as of assembly. But the constitution as a ground norm that governs all of us, the traditional institutions, the Obas in the Yoruba land, the Igwe in the east, the Shakiri, the Fulanis, the Hausas, gives us only one right, the right to choose whichever one we want. We can therefore not allow this constitution to become so filled with frivolities that is supposed to be the mandate of the state. We have all been clamoring for physical federalism. Give more power to the states to do it the way they want, to do it in the way of the culture of their people. And that's why I would want to implore the mover of this motion to please allow us to please step down this amendment for the time being so that we can deliberate more on it. Because of course, from the way I see it, is such that the state should be considered, not here. The problem of religious war, we started as far back as 1938 in this country. Let it not start here again. Let it not be that it is this house that is going to put fire to the very fragile democracy, to the very fragile situation, the unity between us. It's very important. As we are talking now, people are hearing us. People are seeing us, thinking that we want to promote one religion over the other. I therefore pray that we step this down for the time. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
To under the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, to review the description of Islamic law in the Constitution as related matters HB 1502. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any second? Yes, sir. Kwakwansia.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Hassan Sheikh Hussein.
Distinguished colleagues, briefly, as the chair of the speaker requested, the 1999 Constitution, as amended, the 1999 Constitution, as amended, Mr. Speaker, provide for a personal Islamic law in the Constitution. The Constitution did not envisage the dynamism and the development coming off in the country. In 2003, the Constitution did not recognize that the Islamic commercial law, Islamic company law, Islamic international law, Islamic public laws. In 2003, Mr. Speaker, Taj Bank came up under the commercial Islamic law. In 2019, another bank came up under the commercial law. That means the Jais Bank, not the Taj Bank. The Jais Bank was in 2004, the Taj Bank came in 2019. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the personal law, it only encompasses marriage, divorce, and the inheritance. Therefore, what I'm requiring is the removal of section, the removal of personal in section 24 of the Constitution, section 262, section 277, and section 288, so that other relevant laws like the public, the commercial law, commercial law, the Islamic company law, the Islamic international law can have a place in the Constitution. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, this is what I want the honorable colleagues to support so that this amendment can be done. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable, Mr. is pointing at things in the right direction to give a backup for the commercials and other laws that already we are practicing without proper backing, particularly in our Islamic-related financial institutions, of not only limited to Taj Bank or Jais Bank, but there are several banks that are now practicing, particularly the Mudahara and the other sharing formulas. I think this is a very welcome development.
Most of you have forgotten about this video. This video I'm playing, this is not the first time I play this video, where they are discussing in the House of Assembly how to expand Sharia to other states. This happened, and you saw lawmakers, some of them defending to implement Sharia in all places, and some of them are telling you about bank, money, where you borrow money without interest and all that. That is what they used to come in. And this thing that the senators here were discussing about, we said they're going to come back to it and do it. Do you know they are doing it already? This manipulation through bank is already happening. Before you know it, you will discover that your state is now Sharia state. Look at them discussing it in the House of Assembly.
That it will give even an economic leeway for the nation to see the goodness of such practices in our financial platform. I support that.
Yes, Bob Solomon, please. Solomon Bob, from the great state of Rivers. Now, this matter, actually, I think it will be dealt with in better technical detail at the committee level for constitutional review, because there's so much to say about this kind of okay, I'm sorry. Yes, I was told you were not listening to me. I'm saying that this bill will better dealt with, in broader technical detail at the level of committee for constitutional review. But straight up, the section I'm referring to, if it is removed, the word personal is removed. The implication immediately is that Islamic law will now have a general application with respect to criminal law across the country. The word personal there put for a purpose. So if you remove it, that's the implication. It will have great consequences. So we can look at the details of what it's trying to do, what it's trying to achieve, and advise at the committee level. With respect to the reference made to Taj Bank and Jais Bank, their operations are not being in any way hindered. There are regulations dealing with those matters concerning banks, CBN Act, and all the rest of them. So those are matters that the banks can deal with. They don't have to incorporate, or attract or drag interest with respect to commercial ambitions to the Constitution. So essentially, Mr. Speaker, my point is, this bill should be referred to the committee on constitutional review. Then we can sit down and then look at, it to a T in every way. Thank you.
Thank you for making it brief. I like the federal constituency of Osun State. Mr. Speaker, I want to, with respect, differ from the mover of the bill on the need for us to amend the Nigerian Constitution in this particular instance. And I'm saying this, Mr. Speaker, because as students of history, we all know the issues surrounding the particular section in reference, especially at the various constituent assemblies
leading to the 1979 Constitution, the 1989 Constitution that was not promulgated, and now the 1999 Constitution. Mr. Speaker, the drafters of the Nigerian Constitution are very conscious of the secularity of the Nigerian nation, and also very conscious of the sensitive nature of religion. And I remember the 1976 Constitutional Assembly, the 1977 Constitution, was very, very contentious on this matter until the then federal military government came in to stop further debate on this matter and took a decision that the application of Islamic laws will only be constrained to personal matters which have to do with the administration of estate and some other issues. Mr. Speaker, we have to be very, very conscious of whatever we do to alter the Nigerian Constitution in a manner that will further widen the divide that we have as a country. And in any case, Mr. Speaker, like my previous colleague said, the matters which my colleague seek to address by this proposal is already covered by existing laws. The Kama law, covers regulation on the issue of finances and allows for its application of Islamic principles on financial transactions. The same thing with the CBN Act, like you already said. And the moment we allow the Constitution to be altered to take care of all manner of interests, we will no longer be in the state where the sanctity of the Constitution is respected, and the intent of the drafters of the Nigerian Constitution via or as regards to the secular nature of the Nigerian nation might be threatened if we allow this to go on. Mr. Speaker, I sincerely think that this bill should not pass on for the second reading for these reasons I've did. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Hakim Kamilado, representing Udilgarko Federal Constituency, Kano State. Mr. Speaker, I would like to make it brief to say that while being cautious, but we have to consider, and considering also the divisions we have in this country, we have to consider the ethics, the values, and the interest of the masses. Because we are here in this hollow chamber to represent the Nigerians, and also not to make a religion or a tribe or a community, not to constrain them from practicing something which is their way of life. We all know that Nigeria comprises of so many religions and also tribes and communities. But these religious matters, we consider it as a way of life, not just a mere religion. So considering the ethics and the values and the interest of the masses, not looking at the division or being cautious of what this will cost, Mr. Speaker, I think this bill is supposed to pass for the second reading. In my opinion, Mr. Speaker, we need to come